Hey friends, welcome to another Wolverine video. I just wanted to make a quick video because I feel really called to share my reality with you guys. And tonight is one of those days where reality sucks. So I'm up. It is about 3 in the morning. I kicked my husband out of my room so that he could actually get some sleep. I know that sounds cruel, but it's just easier than him trying to sleep fitfully next to me trying to do things because I can't sleep. So he's sleeping elsewhere so that I can have the freedom to do whatever, make YouTube videos, I guess, and probably crochet some, watch Law and Order SVU for the millionth time, and try not to feel sorry for myself. When we were getting ready to go to bed, I did sleep a little. When we were getting ready to go to bed, I moved, and sometimes if I move wrong, the weight of my right leg will pull my hip out of socket. It'll dislocate it, which is what happened, and the pain is horrendous. It's like a searing, tearing kind of pain, and so I took some ibuprofen and fell asleep for, I don't know, maybe 2 hours. Ibuprofen wore off. I could take more ibuprofen, but then I worry about taking it in the evening. It might shock some of you to hear that I take ibuprofen because I'm an herbalist and I'm supposed to have all the answers, but I tell you what, when you're dealing with EDS, when you're dealing with a connective tissue disorder that affects every part of your body, I'm an herbalist that's going to tell you it's okay to take drugs if you need to. I took about, I think it was 600 milligrams of ibuprofen at like 10, and so as soon as that wore off, at about 1, I woke up, and I've been up since then. I'm not sure. I might journal. I might crochet. I don't make medicine. I don't make herbs and things when I'm in this state because I don't want to put any of this icky energy into the remedies that I'm making. So, you know, if ever you guys make a consultation with me and then I have a remedy for you, sometimes it takes me a little while to get them out to you because I refuse to make anything for somebody when I'm in a funk. I just don't think it's... I think your intention and your vibration really matter when you're making that sort of thing. So I like to be in a good headspace when I'm making medicine. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have much to say about it other than this is the second night with little to no sleep, and that means that I'll probably be spending tomorrow in bed, not sleeping, just resting. If I'm lucky, I'll be well enough to sit on the couch and hang out with my kids for a few hours. We did movie night last night, so we did get to see, we watched Lady and the Tramp. And, yeah, I'm just dealing. I remember when I started my channel, I said that I wanted to make sure you guys got to see the truth, and the truth is that I am living with a chronic illness. I have the diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos hypermobility syndrome, and then I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, also known as POTS. I have mast cell activation syndrome, which is basically like an allergic reaction to everything for no reason, and fibromyalgia. So things that affect me negatively are lack of sleep and the weather changing. It's really difficult for me when the weather's changing or when it's just really cold outside. it's really difficult. Like today I'm in a lot of pain because it's freezing outside here in Colorado and I haven't slept and my tolerance for pain has gone down because I'm tired. And I have to be very careful which way I move because I'm noticing a lot of dislocations. Usually when I'm having like a high fatigue day or haven't slept, I don't have the presence of mind to tense the right muscles at the right time to move around a lot. So there won't be a lot of walking. If I'm going, let's say I'm going to the kitchen, I'll be using my wheelchair for safety. It's just not worth dislocating my hip because I want to be up using my crutches. I have been diagnosed with EDS for a little over or almost 2 years. I've been sick a little over 2 years. Well, really sick for a little over 2 years. I've had it my whole life. I just didn't know. Yeah, maybe I'll do a journey to diagnosis story here. So, yeah, why not? EDS. I was a very healthy young lady. I was working in a laundry for a retreat center here in Colorado. I was, working normal hours, folding sheets. Laundry is hard work. Carrying my then 2-year-old on my back everywhere I went, hiking a quarter mile up the road to get to work. And then in December of, I guess it was 2017, I got a cold. And everybody in my family got this cold, and everybody in my family got better, and I just didn't. So after a few weeks of being sick, I started to have some abdominal pain, and I went to the emergency room several times on several different occasions. And finally they were like, oh, it's mono. Give it 4 months, you'll feel better. Just rest and fluids. There's not much we can do. Mono. Things didn't get better. Actually, things got quite a bit worse. The abdominal pain got so bad I couldn't eat. I lost, I want to say it was like 60 or 70 pounds over the course of 3 months because I just could not eat. And I was in bed all the time. And I would dream about food. I remember I couldn't eat, but I would dream about food because my body was starving. So finally, I got a new doctor, and she wanted to do surgery. She wanted to take out my gallbladder, part of my intestine. Like, she hadn't even done any imaging or blood tests. That was just the first appointment. So, needless to say, I didn't go back there. And then I skipped around to a couple other doctors that just didn't have any answers for me. They retested me for mono. Turns out I never had it. I have never had mono. And finally, I ended up at a community clinic in Fort Collins, and the doctor, well, he's a physician's assistant, was skeptical that I was sick at all. He thought maybe it was in my head because I have some mental health history. But he decided, okay, well, we'll just give you the benefit of the doubt and do some testing. So he sent me for all sorts of testing. He referred me for a rheumatologist. And the first rheumatologist that I saw was a dick. If you ever, excuse my language, if you ever are in Fort Collins and need a rheumatologist, and you get an appointment with somebody named Daniel Mueller, don't go. That guy is a POS. He is the worst doctor I've ever seen in my life. After about 20 minutes of talking to his medical assistant, he came in, poked and prodded me for about 5 minutes and said I had fibromyalgia and that there wasn't much to do in the way of treatment other than pain management, and that was that. Now, when I saw him, it happened to be a day when I had this horrible rash on my knees and my elbows, and he thought it was completely unrelated. Turns out that was a mast cell reaction. So I had such a horrible experience, I left, and I had a follow-up appointment for a couple weeks later, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was having a bad day. Came back a couple weeks later, he poked and prodded me and noticed that my pain was more in my joints and not just my muscles. And he's like, well, it seems like your pain has changed since last time. And I was like, yeah, it's different all the time. It's always pain. It's always somewhere, but it's not always in the same place. And he was like, so it's joint pain and it's muscle pain. And I said, yeah. And he's like, well, I'm going to keep the diagnosis of fibromyalgia, but I'm also going to diagnose hypermobile polyarthralgia, which is hypermobile joint pain in more than one joint. He was, again, completely rude, dismissive, did not listen, treated me like I was an idiot and I didn't know anything about my body, completely ignored all of the other symptoms that I was having and said fibro and joint pain. I was so upset when I left that I told his nurse that I wanted to file a formal complaint, and instead she gave me an appointment for a wonderful doctor in Greeley, Colorado, and her name was Laura Howe. I went and saw Laura Howe, and she told me that her partner is hypermobile, and she went through the diagnostic criteria for EDS and diagnosed me as hypermobility spectrum disorder, hypermobility syndrome, and referred me for physical therapy and pain management. So my first physical therapy appointment was with Kim Saunders in Fort Collins at Foothills Orthopedic and Sport Therapy, I believe. And the first thing, I might get a little emotional here, you guys. She comes out from the back of the clinic, and she's got braces on her teeth, and she's smiling ear to ear, and she hands me this binder. There's a zebra on it, and it says, "Zebras make hoofbeats too." And she said, "Welcome to the Dazzle." And for the first time in, I don't even know how long, I felt seen. So over the course of the next about 8 months, I went and saw Kim every week, and she helped me put out all the fires in my body and helped me learn how to cope with EDS. And then, unfortunately, I had to move. I moved from Loveland down here to Aurora, and I've been very blessed because I actually do have a great doctor now at UC Health at the Anschutz campus, and I have a wonderful PT down here, Emily Foshim, at Select PT in Aurora. And I mean, things are going well as far as doctors go and care goes, but I think it's really important to just know how much of a difference one good doctor can make in your life, because if Dr. Laura hadn't taken me, given me her time, her appointment, and I had never heard of anything like hypermobile anything. In my research trying to find out what was wrong with me, I thought I had some kind of genetic disease. I thought I had Wilson's syndrome. I thought I wasn't chelating copper properly. But it turned out it's EDS. And that's how I got my diagnosis. And it's been a really crazy experience, because I went from like hiking every day to using a wheelchair to go to my kitchen. I used to carry my baby on my back. She sat on my lap one day and dislocated my knee, and it's never been the same since. I've put on weight because of the medications and the inactivity. I don't feel beautiful anymore. I used to feel really pretty, and now I feel like I'm not. I'm trying to get past the idea that I'm not, because it's hard when you're in your pajamas every day and you don't wear makeup and all that to feel, and you're puffy from being sick and inflamed. It's hard to feel attractive. So I have a lot of self-esteem issues, and then I have more self-esteem issues because I'm such a German. Like, I love to work and I can't really do that. So it's been a journey and a struggle, and it continues to be a journey and a struggle. And tonight is a struggle for sure. But that was my journey to diagnosis. Looking back, like throughout my life, I had a lot of symptoms that just they were just ignored. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I dislocated my arm as a kid and I just popped it back in and kept playing because I knew nobody was going to take me to the hospital. So, looking back, it made perfect sense that it would be hypermobility. But yeah, that's the story, and here I am. Yeah, so feel free, if you guys have any questions about what my life is like, or whatever, what shows I'm watching, what I'm working on crochet wise. You want to hear about my wheelchair, my crutches, or my braces, just let me know. Whenever I'm not feeling well enough to do an herbal video or not feeling well enough to do a crochet video, I'll probably do one of these videos because I think this is just as important, and I forget sometimes that awareness is something we need. So many doctors haven't even heard of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or they heard about it once in med school and it's like a novelty thing to them. And it's not actually that uncommon for people to have it. It's just very uncommon for people to get diagnosed. So it's a shame, really, because we have to pay for healthcare in this country, and it's not even good care. You know, you get lucky sometimes, but I've seen enough doctors to know that most of them not really that great at people. They probably got into it for the wrong reasons and aren't really dedicated to helping people. So you have to advocate for yourself. If you think that you have some kind of disease, do your research and bring paperwork to back it up, and then demand the testing, because you are a customer and healthcare in this country is a business. So you're paying their checks. And if they refuse to give you a test or a medication or prescription or a referral, tell them to write it in your chart notes, and you want to be there and watch them write it in your chart notes. Say, I want you to note in my chart that you declined to run this test, even though my insurance will cover it. And a lot of times they'll just give you the test because it's easier than documenting why they wouldn't do it. But advocate for yourselves, because you'll get answers if you just stick with it. There's answers. You're not just crazy. It's not in your head. And you deserve quality care. So advocate for yourselves. But yeah, that's all I have for now. I'm gonna sign off and go crochet and watch Law and Order or something until the rest of my family wakes up. Yeah, make sure you drink lots of water today. Wash your hands, wear your masks, be kind to yourselves and each other, and don't forget that you are sacred, precious, beautiful beings that deserve to be loved and are of infinite worth. All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next one.